Everyone considered him the coward of the county. He'd never stood one single time to prove the county wrong. Everyone considered him the coward of the county. He'd never stood one single time to prove the county wrong.
Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. Hold on. Yeah. Nah, I got this. I've been getting texts for the past 2 weeks from brothers in the hood who wanted to get at him, but I said, nah, this is my beef. I ain't sending no goons. This is my beef. I've been getting texts for the past 2 weeks from brothers in the hood who wanted to get at him, but I said, nah, this is my beef. I ain't sending no goons. This is my beef.
AntiAfroSvengalis. Oh, wasn't that ever relevant, people? I've got to let you know what happened. Now, I told you Lisa Affect has the 411 in very interesting ways. Now, it actually was her information that was a little obscure that got me looking into this situation that I'm going to be telling you about. And now listen to me, although it relates to Cynthia G and Tariq N, it is absolutely 100% relevant to the state board situation and to the Board of Education situation, which Umar Johnson is concealing from you all, which you also disclosed inadvertently, quite obviously. So let me tell you what happened and what I'm going to be covering here. I'm going to be covering how Umar Johnson is continuing to try anything he can to pull attention away from what he is doing to the Black community. And in that process, he is simply making it worse and worse for him in terms of the disciplinary proceedings that he stands accused of, or the disciplinary proceedings that are pending, rather, the accusations he stands accused of, with respect to the Board of Psychology and the Board of Education. And you're probably thinking, maybe not everybody, what the heck is she talking about, and how does this relate to Cynthia G and Tariq N? Let me explain. Now, Lisa Affect was on, and I don't know how she got over there, but something, I guess, told her to get over to Umar Johnson's website. I think one website was down, but she figured that it was either Twitter or Instagram that was up. And she saw that Umar Johnson was on this kind of rant, right, about Tariq N. So she thought something else was popping off. So she goes over to Tariq N. And this is only a few days ago, people. She was not telling me, but posted a video about it. And said, so maybe something else happened I didn't hear about. And so she went over to Tariq N's social media, and he's over in Dubai somewhere. So she's going, what the heck is going on? What's maybe Umar Johnson woke up in the middle of the night, had some sort of panic attack or something. So she thought he was just doing whatever. Lo and behold, I just was on the internet, wasn't even looking for Umar Johnson. I was listening to some of my favorite tunes, and for some reason, a Cynthia G message came up, not message, video popped up on the side saying Umar Johnson, I think, responds to Cynthia G or something like that. I thought maybe it was an old video. So I clicked it on, and then next to that, it says Cynthia G is something upset or something about Umar Johnson pulling her into something. So I ignored the first video, and I wanted to know what the second video was about Cynthia G being upset with Umar Johnson. So I went to that video, and this is the topic that I'm discussing with you. What happened and why I'm calling Umar Johnson yellow is that Cynthia G is is obviously extremely upset because she says Umar Johnson has pulled her into this Tariq Nasheed Umar Johnson's thing. Okay? Now, why I'm saying it's related is because Umar Johnson is again using this language with Tariq Nasheed. And this is why I'm making it clear. It doesn't have anything to do with how anybody feels about Tariq or Cynthia G, because people have their opinions. All I'm trying to point out to you people is that Umar Johnson's reactions and responses and the words that he uses it's only more evidence buttressing the fact that he's not fit to be in this field. Again, and I didn't want to post the video or play the audio. So I have to show you the words. I think that would be cowardly of me. We're all adults here, but him talking about Tariq and the man in the booty hole and all this stuff. What? Okay, you say you're a therapist. You're perping in this field. You want to hold on to these psychology cert credentials, and you're talking like this. You see what I'm saying, people? This is not helping. This is not helping Umar Johnson. See, I'm not Umar Johnson's lawyer, and I'm going back to it again. It's asinine that he didn't get an attorney for this situation. That's Umar Johnson's problem. So whatever ends up happening, he's making it worse. And Cynthia G is so furious about being pulled into this. Now, I want to make it clear. I know people have their strong opinions about Tariq and Cynthia. I'm focusing on specifically showing you how Umar Johnson is perpetrating in the mental health field and making it worse and worse and worse as things go on. So it's important, if you have something to say about Tariq or you want to focus on the specifics of the incident between Cynthia G and Umar, go to her website and comment there. I'm going to be focusing on Umar Johnson's behavior. That's the focus. And if you want to say something about Tariq, because I know that a lot has been going on with this, please go to Cynthia G's or Tariq Nasheed's website and get your feelings out there. I stated in the last video, I also blog. I don't go to their websites. I did leave a message at Cynthia G's website, or it's not website, channel, because she kept calling Umar Johnson a psychologist, saying you're supposed to be a psychologist. I'm like, no, honey, somebody needs to clue her into what's going on. So I left that message. I tend to not go over there, but typically if I want to really get into something nitty gritty, I'm going to use another screen name because I'm trying to restrict this screen name to this channel. Okay, so just want to put that on there. And then what I also wanted to talk about is the disciplinary implications specifically with Umar Johnson and how it relates to, hold on to your hats, people, because I was going to do a separate video about this and I decided I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just put it here with revenge porn. Some people, I'm going to say it, may not know what revenge porn is. So I'm going to take a very brief second to explain it and how it relates to Tariq Nasheed and Umar Johnson. Okay, revenge porn is is when basically people were in a relationship, and it doesn't matter who they are, man, woman, woman, man, whoever. And the person is mad for whatever reason and posts sexually explicit photos or information about that person online or anywhere, distributes it without that person's permission. It is now a criminal offense, and it's been that way for a few years. And I believe all 50 states have that law in place. For sure, the two states involving Umar Johnson, Pennsylvania and California, which I believe Tariq Nasheed lives, it's illegal. Okay, so when Umar Johnson got on there and was talking about, quote, receipts is coming, Tariq's machine, let's people, whatever he was saying, let's men play with the booty hole. And also, and I'm giving you the proof in the videos, so you can go down there, and in the same videos, which irks me, he is saying he is a psychologist and a therapist. That is what I'm going for, people. That is what pisses me off. That's why I want this situation taken care of. How dare you get on here and say you're a therapist, say you're a psychologist, and talk like this? This is what pisses me off. And I'm sorry to say that, but it does, to use it that type of language, because I'm serious. Trust you me, I do curse, but I don't like doing it on YouTube. I just don't. I don't like it. But it gets me so angry sometimes that I feel like just letting off every cuss word, choice words I haven't used in years. Okay? So he is doing this and then talking about playing with booty holes. It just gets me so infuriated, people. It does. I can't even explain. It's so embarrassing for our people. It's embarrassing. So Cynthia G is coming off the rails. She is infuriated. So I wanted, what I think is only fair, it's only fair to let you hear her comment. And I'm going to play her, it's not that long, her recitation about how dare you drag me into this. Basically, she's saying, and that's why I'm calling Umar Johnson yellow. Okay? Nobody in North Philly has heard of him. And there have been many people posting videos about that, by the way. Men, I'm saying men, because this is a man thing. I hate to get sexist. Who the heck are Umar? I was in North Philly. I went here. I ran the streets. Not yet has anybody vouched for Umar Johnson's supposed rep. That's why I'm calling them ghost goons. Okay? He is so, oh my God. So her position, let me set this up before I let you hear the video, is basically saying, how dare you? How dare you pull me into this? I don't even really comment on Umar Johnson. And she has said things about Tariq Nasheed, but she felt it was totally improper to pull her into this. Now, I want you to listen to her statement, because I think it's only fair to let you hear that. Okay? And I just think it was cowardly. And I got something else to say about that too, about Umar Johnson pulling Cynthia G into this. But listen to her statement, and I'm going to come back and finish up other stuff about the disciplinary issue. Here is her statement.
My issue is that Umar could have used that video. He could have found that video and he could have showed that video. He could have actually took out that one clip right there and showed it on his own. I was able to find it. Umar should have been able to find it too. It's not that hard. So the question is, why are grown men in their mid-40s trying to drag me into a beef that has nothing to do with me? This has nothing to do with me. Umar was being messy. He didn't need to mention me at all. He could have simply looked for Tariq. Look, all I did is the YouTube search. So it's out there. You can find it. But he's sitting here putting my name in it. Now, at the time that this was screenshot, it had 23 shares. Now, I'm not on Twitter because my Twitter account got suspended. I have to get another one. For the people who are asking me, you're not blocked on my Twitter account was suspended again, so I have to make another one. And I will be making another one. And when I make another one, I'll post it on there. But I don't know how many things this has, but I can tell you what, it's going to contribute to the barrage of dusty beta males who are already running my name through everything, trying to engage in me. And what I'm going to say is, if Umar Johnson and Tariq try to drag me into their beef and end up, and it have detrimental effects for me, I'm going to make sure it has detrimental effects for them. That's just the reality of what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your comments on, and if you've heard anything about this too, because again, I haven't been in the Twitter meal, but let me know. And then I'll see you guys in the next video.
Okay, folks, there you have it. I just wanted to make sure you heard directly from Cynthia G, her position about feeling dragged in, whether it's just by Umar alone or with Tariq Nasheed involved, but I'm still wanting to make sure we're emphasizing context. You have Umar Johnson screaming and hollering about he's being persecuted by jealous Negroes got him in trouble, and then no, it's the white man or the cracker doing this, and he's trying to hold on to credentials. Really? You're trying to hold on to credentials and you're engaging in this behavior? That is my point, people. That is my point. And there was another video that I was going to post individually related to this, but I think it's appropriate for me to bring this up now within this context. And before doing that, to again remind you to scoot over to Cynthia G's channel if you want to get all the details about it, because again, I'm only presenting how, again, Umar Johnson is representing himself as a therapist and a psychologist, and engaging in this type of behavior is just, it's unheard of, people, for a professional to expect to be accepted as a professional and engage in this behavior. This is so outrageous. So listen to this. Listen to this part. Look at the nature of the accusations and garbage. When I say accusations, I put that in quotations. Umar Johnson, quote, accusing Tariq Nasheed of being gay, or specifically, I hate to be so graphic, but I gotta say it. I don't want to play the video, so I have to say it. Okay, let's not play around. Accusing Tariq Nasheed, quote unquote, of letting men play with his booty hole. Oh, that sounds so mature, people. And then Umar Johnson puts up supposed support by Cynthia G. Now let's take it even further, just to quickly highlight Umar Johnson's hypocrisy, that he doesn't even stand by his convictions, which is why I'm telling you he's doing this all from a phony, baloney, bunko, bogus, white supremacy platform. How he's always focusing on women with weaves and makeup and la-da-di-da. And what did he do? He was hooked up with a stripper with blonde hair. And what does he do? He's trying to align himself with Cynthia G against Tariq. And what is one thing about Cynthia G that people talk about? I personally don't give a hoot. I'm just pointing out Umar Johnson's hypocrisy about the weave and the makeup. Why would you consider somebody that wears a weave and wears a lot of makeup, that Umar Johnson even says he hates caked up makeup? Why would you consider a person like this your ally? Although it's none of his damn business what anybody does with their hair, makeup, weaves, or whatever. It just highlights again more evidence of his hypocrisy and more ammunition to use against him. And he wants to keep these freaking credentials. But I'm going to slam it home even harder for you. He's talking about Tariq Nasheed and saying he's got, quote, receipts is coming. I love the grammar. Receipts is coming. He lets men play with this booty hole. Receipts is coming. Okay, let me tell you something, people. We know the deal about rules being fixed in our society. We know this one irritating, actually infuriating, I don't want to minimize it, this infuriating fact of a fixed rule that we will never be able to change is that typically our government will act very quickly when something affects white people. Our government also acts when things affect us, but it usually has got to go through the freaking court system up to the Supreme Court for us to get our laws, right? We get it, but it's got to go all the way to Supreme Court. Okay? We'll get ours. Okay? But specifically, I'm talking about revenge porn. Does anybody know what revenge porn is? I'm going to explain it in case people aren't aware. Revenge porn, this is one level of revenge porn, because this is very relevant, based on what Umar Johnson claimed about Tariq Nasheed and what he said he was going to prove. Quote, receipts is coming. About Tariq letting men play with this booty hole. Receipts is coming. Okay? Revenge porn is a law that was passed in an increased number of states, and I think maybe all 50 states do have it at this point, where someone, now just hold on for a second, and don't say, oh, Tariq Nasheed and Umar are going out. No, they are not. But revenge porn, the original law is that someone who is dating someone else breaks up, they get mad. Doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, but typically it was females that were being victimized by this. Okay? Mainly white females. It doesn't say no minorities were ever harmed, but the overwhelming majority of people who were being victimized by revenge porn were white females, even powerful white females, where their boyfriends, ex-husbands, whoever, lovers, after they break up, were posting pornographic photos that were shared even voluntarily when they were in a relationship or taken secretly. Either way it goes, they passed a law. First, there was a federal law in some regard, depending on how the pictures were transmitted, but virtually every state has it as it's a criminal offense. If you, without permission, post those pictures, you're committing a crime. Okay, so they got on that law really quickly, people, when more white folks were being affected. That's a fixed rule. It affects white people. The government's going to move on it. The same with those mugshots. How long have they been putting black folks' mugshots up all over the place? It wasn't till those mugshot companies started asking for money and white people's photos were being posted all over creation that people didn't even know, oh, that white person was arrested. Oh, that white person was arrested. Because people were assuming all black people had criminal records. It wasn't until the white folks started getting impacted by these mugshots that the law started being implemented that you can't pay to get the mugshots taken off. Now, it's disgusting to do that to people anyway, but it wasn't till white people started being affected that they started to pass these laws. So revenge porn. So if Umar Johnson, here's the thing about Pennsylvania, he doesn't even know about his own state. Pennsylvania is one of the few states, growing number of states, that was passing legislation to expand revenge porn laws that doesn't restrict it to a relationship. Because the original porn law was restricted to having a relationship with someone in the past. Husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. It doesn't matter your sexual orientation either. Okay? So if, and again, I don't know a damn thing about Tariq Nasheed. I think it's ridiculous that Umar Johnson is even saying these things. But say Umar Johnson had receipts. If he had posted anything at all about Tariq Nasheed and these supposed receipts, that would subject Umar Johnson to arrest. And of course, him even talking like this is something that's going to be going against him when he comes up for disciplinary review. Do you see what I'm saying, people? So let's talk about the Pennsylvania law that they're trying to pass. And I think they may have passed it. I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I am 100% sure that they were working on that law, Pennsylvania and some other states, to expand the revenge porn law to cover anybody that posts inappropriate images or unauthorized sexual images, quote, receipts of any person without their permission. So that would include Umar Johnson posting receipts on Tariq Nasheed. Okay, the fact that he even said it is again, see, Umar, he claims he wants to fight for these credentials, and he's up here talking like this, and this thing with Cynthia G and using the booty thing, it's just so disgusting, people. And then he cares about black people? No, just in general. He doesn't have to like Tariq Nasheed at all. I'm not saying that. He can have as much disdain as he wants about Tariq Nasheed or about anybody. It's about his actions. Do you get what I'm saying, people? And the fact he's up here perpetrating in this profession and saying he's a therapist. And in that video where he said he was talking about Tariq Nasheed's booty, quote unquote, he said he was a therapist. Are you freaking kidding? And actually, he actually said he was a therapist and a psychologist. Because in that video, he talked about his child. not being able to see her. I think that was, you know what? If that wasn't the most of the comments he made about Tariq Nasheed, he made comments again, because he made the comments more than once. In the main video, he was extensive about it. And then in another video, he talked again about getting your booty hole looked at or whatever. Absolutely 100%, people. He mentioned Tariq Nasheed's sexual issues, gay, quote unquote, or claims, and then said he was a psychologist. Okay, I'm a psychologist. I can't see my child. And then talked about being a therapist in addition to a conflict resolution specialist. People, he did. Umar Johnson did. And as a matter of fact, I will make sure I find the videos for you and put the timestamps, but I don't want to play them. They are just so repulsive. The fact that you would, I just disgusting. So I will look for those videos. He is trying to purge the videos. I hate even posting the links, people. I hate posting the links because you know what? He'll maybe try to take them down. But I will think about what I will do with that. I'll think about either putting the clips at the end or posting the link. I will think about it, people. I'll do one or the other since I stated it. I'm on the hook for that. So either way, I will get you the proof of what I'm stating. But what I am gonna play you a clip of Umar Johnson claims to be this mental health specialist. And I want you to hear what Umar Johnson claims, asserts in that regard, and then the hypocrisy with the position he took with Tariq Nasheed, and what also he said about Cynthia G and that whatever is Twitter or Instagram message. Listen carefully to what Umar Johnson says, and there's a couple of short clips, and this relates to gay people, LGBTs. Listen to this.
Oh yes, I specialize in homosexual therapy for our teenage people. Oh yes, I specialize in homosexual therapy for our teenage people.
Okay. So will they be allowed?
Now, to answer your question, sure, they can come to my school.
Thank you.
Because there ain't no such thing as gay black kids. There's sexually confused black children, and FDMG will reverse the confusion.
Y'all not gonna be gay no more.
No, you're missing me. They not gay to begin with. It's propagated. It's propagated. It's pushed on them. I'm school-based. You're talking to a principal and a psychologist.
Wait. How do you...
I love all black people regardless of their illness. Yes, I'm against homosexuality, but I'm not against the person who practices it, because all black homosexuality, lesbianism, transvestism, bisexualism comes out of trauma and abuse and dysfunctionality. How can I hate a victim? I love all black people regardless of their illness. Yes, I'm against homosexuality, but I'm not against the person who practices it, because all black homosexuality, lesbianism, transvestism, bisexualism comes out of trauma and abuse and dysfunctionality. How can I hate a victim? Notes to many. I get emails, text messages, phone calls, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram inboxes from gay black men and women all the time, asking if they could talk to me on a one-on-one, that they appreciate the fact that although I disagree with their lifestyle, I can still empathize with them as a human being. As I said, I've done therapy with homosexual black boys, and I will continue to do so, because homosexual black men have one of the highest suicide rates in this country.
That they do.
You understand? And I don't want no black man killing themselves, whether they're gay or not. I don't want no black female hurting herself, whether they're gay or not. So I can disagree with the behavior and still love my brother or my sister. They still my brothers and my sisters. And if I can do something for them, I'm going to do something for them, but I still reserve the right to stand on my principles.
Okay, so you heard Umar Johnson, and okay, so do you see the hypocrisy in his statement? He claims to have all this expertise with population he calls, quote, homosexuals, and then he gets on there and made those statements about Tariq. So what does that represent? That represents he doesn't have a lick of sense, number one. Number two, I'm going to hone in on the statement of my values. Again, people, I have to point out, and I won't neglect pointing out, Umar Johnson doesn't have even the minimal fundamentals the minimum of barely a first-year master's degree student, or he doesn't have it at all, to sit there and talk about what your value system is when you're referring to other people that you are supposed to be serving. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference what your value system is to a client. It's irrelevant. You're not the one getting the therapy. The client is. Who cares about your damn value system? So here he is, gay bashing. Now, he bashes lots of people, and that's why I'm putting this up here. The Department of Education, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, this applies to Umar Johnson like it does everybody else that has credentials. The non-discriminatory policy. Now, you people sit there and try to tell me what he said about Tariq Nasheed is not going to get him in a whole heap of trouble, in addition to what he has said about other groups. Virtually every other group under the sun, Umar Johnson has made statements that directly violate this policy. Now, when I say sign on the dotted line, I don't know how the heck somebody came up with the impression that I was talking about or saying that Umar Johnson was a psychologist. No, this talks about being an educator. You see it right here, people. So I'm putting this on here. So how in the heck can Umar Johnson make all those statements and then come out, even as a decent human being, and make those statements and claim to say that he loves all black people, is there to help gay people or homosexuals, as he puts it? It's warped. It's so warped. And Umar Johnson feels this way about virtually every group of people. But to use a certain class of people to attack someone else is absolutely outrageous. And these are the things that are going to come back to bite Umar Johnson in the ASS, in the assets, okay? You think he's going to get away with stuff like this? No, you're going to be kidding me, people. And the language that he's using, it is atrocious. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to flash for you. I'm not going to go into the details because I need to present these within another context, but I don't want to neglect showing them to you. These are the different levels of discipline that the Department of Education uses with everyone when they decide your discipline. First, you have private reprimand. Now, we have no idea whether or not Umar Johnson received a private reprimand because it's private. Okay, then we have, and I'm going to go over these in more detail, suspension. And you can look at these longer. These are different levels. And then with suspension, here's the thing that's relevant about him thinking he can go to another state. It starts kicking in terms of how people are notified or agencies are notified on a national level. Okay? Then you have, I got to let you know, the National Association of State Directors of Teacher Education and Certification. This is a national clearinghouse. When you start getting reprimanded on a certain level, this starts to go out nationwide. Keep that in mind. Okay, so the next level of discipline would be immediate suspension. Okay, the next level of discipline is revocation, which Umar Johnson says they are trying to revoke his credentials. This is what he says, but he's not telling the whole story. Okay, then there's another level called surrender, which somebody said Umar Johnson resigned from the Board of Education, which he actually stated he resigned from a school. But even if Umar Johnson tried to surrender his certificates or whatever, they would not accept them because this process has not even started with the Board of Education, because there's another agency, another board deliberating. Okay, so I'm just briefly telling you this: surrender, which is the same as revocation. So again, I'm deliberately not going through details so this video doesn't go on forever and ever. I am going to cover these in more detail. And then there's another classification I don't have up here, which is called other sanctions, which means it can implement other requirements that the educator must do in order to become, quote, whole again, which could include therapy, taking more classes, paying fines, that sort of thing, under other sanctions. I wanted to make sure I came on here to let you know what was happening and to let you know what Umar Johnson is facing, although he doesn't have a clue about what he's facing in terms of even being aware of how his behavior and statements are simply fueling the disciplinary options to be enhanced, to be more strict, because he's violating and violating and violating. It doesn't matter whether or not you are in a school or not. Remember, the rule is whether you are in or out of a school setting, they still condemn you. That's the deal. Okay? So Umar Johnson is on this rampage. But whether or not Umar Johnson is on a rampage, the warning stays the same. He is a dangerous person to avoid for Black folks. By all means necessary, buyer beware.